And that was the show. And again, the ratings went from, what was it, close to 1.2 almost to 800-some thousand.
Well, here are the ratings breakdown. I'll give you this right now.
Okay.
The show started, Wheeler Yuta versus MJF. And by the way, these are courtesy of WrestleNomics, who posted them. 1,179,000 viewers. That's the peak. Segment 2, which is the last 4 minutes of the match, as well as a Jericho Appreciation Society promo and Lethal versus Darby starting, 1,155,000, so a very slight drop-off. Segment 3, the last 7 minutes of Lethal versus Darby, Brian Cage's promo, and Wardlow versus Brian Cage, 1,084,000. So that's the first significant drop. The last 7 minutes of that match, and the post-match angle, and Britt Baker's promo was segment 4, 1,074,000, which goes into segment 5, the first segment of the 9 o'clock hour, 1,058,000 for the women's 6-person tag match, and Rush's promo. The Acclaim segment, 1,013,000, and then segment 6, segment 6, which was Madison Rayne and Sky Blue's promo with Anna Jay and Ty Conti, as well as Rush versus Adam Page, 953,000 viewers. The next segment, which was the Luchasaurus versus Fuego del Sol match, with also Jungle Boy, as well as a Trent Beretta Pac promo video, and a promo from Willow Nightingale, Jade Cargill, and the Baddies, 944,000. And the final segment, Daniel Garcia and Bryan Danielson versus Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho, 879,000. The biggest drop-off of the night.
Well, there you have it. So,
what does that tell you? The fact that MJF, is it just because he was in the first segment? Now, you know what?
Well, no,
it's interesting. We just said on the show, we were talking about the ratings recently, how Jericho versus Moxley held the number to the end, remember?
Yeah.
And then it was Jericho versus Garcia that didn't. And we said, oh, well, there's the difference between two main eventers and not. Now you realize they don't even want to see Jericho. The drop-off is Jericho. If Jericho's in the last segment of the show, people don't care enough to stay.
And you can't argue with that because the numbers are bearing it out. And it's not, they had a decent audience up until seg 6 and 7. And then it was just this last match. But again, when they advertise a match that people want to see for the main event, they stick around for it. And you go back to the days of Raw and Nitro battling it out. The last segment was always the highest, and it was still at the same time of night. Same time of night. It was always the highest rated segment of the program. The programs didn't lose viewers, they gained viewers. Because people wanted to see the main event. It was somebody they wanted to see. So, and let's mention this real briefly, because talking about things that people want to see or don't want to see, AEW also had 2 hours of national television on Friday night. The regular Rampage and the Battle of the Belts, which they have so many of. And when you look at the lineup, who would want to see any of this? It's YouTube level, fucking dark match level stuff on national television.
And it's I was going to just say too, and it's the stuff they build up on Wednesday, and people still don't want to see it.
Yep, Moxley on the Rampage show was the only legitimate star on that program. And on the Battle of the Belts, honestly, FTR, if you can call them legitimate stars the way that they are booked. Listen to these matches real quick, and then, folks, we're done with AEW. I know you can't wait. Rampage was Moxley, Claudio, and Wheeler Useless against Rush and Private Party. Pac and Felix and Penthouse against the Dork Order. Anna Jay and Ty Meloconti against Madison Rayne and Sky Blue. And Tony Nese and Josh Woods against the Varsity Blondes. Every single one of these names, except for the Blackpool Combat Club fellows are usually used to do jobs and in shitty matches. And then the Battle of the Belts for the prestigious Atlantic title that nobody gives a shit about. Pac
All
against
Atlantic.
Trent.
All Atlantic.
All Atlantic. The whole ocean. Pac against Trent.
I guess so. I guess that is what it is.
Yeah. And for the TBS title, Jane Cargill against Willow Nightingale. And for the Ring of Honor tag team title, FTR against those two fat Samoans that didn't even want to jump out of the fucking ring for him. Gates of Agony. That's 2 hours of national television time. Anyway, you know what the problem is, don't you?
Yeah, the booking's never been worse.
No, it's that they're not listening to the right people.
That's true.
See, what Tony Khan is doing is he's listening to the voices in his head. And he's doing what they tell him to do. But the problem is, he doesn't have his Raycon wireless earbuds in. So those are not really announcers or broadcasters or people that he's listening to that might know what the fuck that they're talking about. It's his own psychopathic voices inside his head that's giving him bad advice, because the first thing that he should do is know not to listen to himself, right?
You're asking me to confirm that Tony Khan should not listen to himself?
Yes.
In anything or just in wrestling matters?
Just if anything. If he says to himself, he says, self, I ought to turn left, he ought to turn right.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I would say
he should
certainly
go
with his
against
booking.
He should go against every natural instinct that he has. And he should listen to other people. And they'll sound great if he's listening to them on those Raycon wireless earbuds. Folks, if you see people walking down the street, having a conversation with themselves, nobody else with them, but they're talking or they're singing, it's not because they're crazy. It's because they're listening to what they want to listen to on their Raycon wireless earbuds. And these things, they're so perfect to go in your ears, you can't even tell you got them in. People can't even see them. As a matter of fact, let's say, for example, you go to Las Vegas and you go in the casino and you get in one of those high-stakes poker games where millions of dollars can be won or lost. If you wear your Raycon wireless earbuds and you make arrangements with a compadre or cohort, they can get binoculars and look at the other people's hands, and they can broadcast what they have in their hands to you, courtesy of the Raycon wireless earbuds. And people will never know that you have them in. They better never know you have them in, because if they find out, that means you're trying to cheat. And since it's Las Vegas, they will have you taken out behind the casino, and all your legs will be broken.
That is not
both
what
your
Raycon
legs,
does.
three
Nope.
legs. What? No, Raycon wouldn't do it.
Right.
The casino people would do it. The guys with the
they'll
crooked
do.
noses would
Yeah.
do it. The Guido and Vito, they
Well,
would do
hey,
it.
that's discriminatory, but certainly people that work in a casino would love to break the legs of anyone who's cheating. That's true.
They break both your legs, all three of your legs. How many legs you got, they'll break them. So that means that what you need to do is you need to get the special Raycon everyday wireless earbuds that are flesh colored. So that way, when you're cheating at cards at a casino in Las Vegas, people don't know you have these things in your ears, because they won't fall out. Trust me. They will not budge. We've talked about how once they go in, they're in there for a while. You just try to get them sumbitches out. And you'll get quality audio at half the price of other premium audio brands.
That's right, and you'll also be able to get them out of your ear at any point you want.
Well, the other premium audio brands jack the price up significantly and try to cheat you, but Raycon doesn't do that. They want your repeat business, and they want you to be happy. That's why they've got over 50,000 five-star reviews, and many of those reviews come from ear, nose, and throat doctors who have taken Raycon wireless earbuds out of patients' ears or noses or throats, and they use them themselves, and they find that they sound better than the ones that they've had as well.
That may sound nice, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not true.
Well, it's nobody has actually proven it, but I suspectify. Anyway, they got 3 customizable sound profiles. They've got the earbud tap functions. Anytime you want to tap one of these earbuds, you're allowed to. And also there's the noise isolation mode and the awareness mode. So you can either isolate yourself from noise, which is what you want to do most of the time, because let's face it, the whole world today is just one big headache. Or when occasionally you want to become aware of your surroundings, then you tap that and suddenly you have full awareness and consciousness, and you can speak on the same plane as the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi.
Very good. Very, very good.
Right now, full awareness, folks, right now. Go to buyraycon.com. That's BUYRAYCON. That's so melodious. Buyraycon.com and use the code JCE15 to get 15% off your Raycon order. That's code JCE15 at buyraycon.com. 15% off. You can listen to music. You can listen to podcasts. You can block out your nagging wife and annoying children. You won't even hear the noise of the oncoming train if that's the way you want to go out in a flame of glory.
We don't advise that. Nope.
No, especially not on the bridge. But, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
No, you don't. You got to do the right thing.
You got to do the right thing. Sometimes the right thing would be stepping out in front of that train. It just depends on what your situation is.
Well, it depends on the person. There's a few people I'd like to see step in front of a train, to be honest with you.
Yes, it might not be best for them, but it'd be best for us.
I don't know if they're going to do it willingly.
Yeah, well, sometimes people have to be coerced. BuyRaycon.com. JCE15 is the code, 15% off. Boy, howdy, you'll love the way these things feel when you stick them in your ear holes.